Okay, let's get right into it. When an AI system goes wrong and causes real harm, what's our first instinct? We blame the algorithm, right? We blame the tech. But what if I told you that's looking in the completely wrong direction? Based on some incredible analysis from Israel's GREATMIND Joshua for Cyber Insight, we're going to argue that the real problem, well, it isn't the AI at all.
Just read that again. In Africa, technology rarely fails first. Leadership does. This one sentence, this is the core of everything we're talking about today. It's a huge shift in how we need to think about this. We need to stop looking at the code and start looking at the C-suite. Forget the machine for a second and focus on the mandate given by the people in charge. See, it's never really about the tool itself. It's always about the decisions made before that tool was ever switched on.
All right, section 1, a failure of leadership. Let's reframe this whole idea of technology risk, because here's the thing. AI doesn't just show up on our doorstep one day. These systems are invited in. They're approved, they're funded, and they're rolled out by leaders. Which means any fallout, any consequence, that comes directly from the choices they made. And this is where we usually get it wrong. You see an algorithm with a clear bias or some kind of surveillance system that goes way too far. And what do we call it? A technology risk. But that's just a convenient label, isn't it? It makes a very human problem sound all technical and distant, like it's the machine's fault. But the real term, the accurate one, is a leadership and governance failure. And getting this right is absolutely crucial. Why? Because it puts the responsibility right back where it belongs, with people. The risk doesn't just magically appear from the tech. No, it starts with weak oversight, with ignored warnings, and with a total failure to build any kind of guardrails before unleashing these incredibly powerful systems on the public. And look, this isn't just theory. Let's take a real-world example. Imagine a new AI system that's supposed to decide who gets a loan. Now, if that system was trained on data from, say, Europe or America, and it's just dropped into a local market without any real oversight, well, it could easily start denying credit to entire communities, locking them out of the economy. The AI is just doing what it was told. The real failure was the leadership decision to let it run wild in the first place. So this failure in leadership, this governance gap, it leads us straight to a huge, dangerous problem. Let's call it the accountability vacuum. Basically, when the system messes up, who's on the hook? We're adopting this tech way faster than we're building the institutions to handle it. Think about it. Right now, AI systems are already influencing who gets hired, who gets into university, who can get a loan, even who's being watched by security cameras. We're moving at lightning speed with the tech, but the rules, the oversight, the institutions, they are lagging dangerously far behind. So this leads to the million-dollar question, right? When these systems fail, and they do, who is accountable? When a biased algorithm keeps thousands of smart, qualified kids out of university, or a glitchy surveillance system points the finger at an innocent person, who takes the blame? Who bears the risk? And the scariest part is, in way too many cases, the answer is crickets. Nobody. Okay, section 3, importing inequality at scale. And this whole accountability problem, it gets even worse. Why? Because most of these AI systems, they aren't even built here. We are literally importing technology that's packed with the values, the biases, and all the blind spots of completely different societies. I mean, really think about what this means. The AI tools being used across Africa are, for the most part, trained on non-African data. They're built to work with foreign laws. They're governed by values that we never got a chance to negotiate. So you get a medical AI trained mostly on scans of, say, white men, trying to diagnose illnesses in an African woman. That's not just a bug. That can be a life or death mistake. It is a massive systemic vulnerability. And this slide just lays it out perfectly. Look at the difference. On the left, fast adoption. We rush to import some fancy foreign AI to handle university recruitment. And on the right, slow governance. The painfully slow, often ignored process of actually developing our own local standards to see if that tool is even fair. It's like we're flooring it in a brand new car without ever learning the rules of the road. What could possibly go wrong? And this quote just nails it. AI doesn't create inequality, it scales the inequality leaders ignore. That's the key takeaway right there. The AI isn't the villain creating the problem. It's more like a giant magnifying glass. It finds all the little cracks and inequalities that are already there, the ones leaders have been ignoring for years, and it blows them up to a terrifying new scale. All right, section 4, an unsecured digital foundation. To really understand the danger of these uninspected systems, let's pull it out of the digital world for a second. Think about it like this.
The way we're adopting AI right now, it's like we're building our entire digital society on top of a foundation made of sand. I love this analogy. Importing a ready-made AI system is like importing an unsecured bridge and just hoping for the best. I mean, you would never do that, right? You'd never import a bridge, slop it over a river, and open it to traffic without your own local engineers doing stress tests, safety checks, the whole shebang. And yet, that's exactly what we're doing with digital bridges that millions of people's lives and livelihoods depend on. We just plug them in and then scramble to patch them up when things start to collapse. And the consequences of this are huge. We're talking about systemic risk. Foreign model bias could directly jeopardize our own local infrastructure projects. You could have automated credit systems that completely lock out entire communities. The bottom line is, when nobody is accountable, this technology isn't just a little bit flawed, it's dangerous. It's a threat. Okay, so we've laid out the problem. It's pretty stark. So what's the solution? Well, the answer isn't more tech. It's proactive, decisive leadership. It's time to talk about 5 mandatory policy levers. This isn't a wish list. This is the path to taking back control, to what you might call technological sovereignty. And this is the choice, plain and simple, facing every single policymaker right now. We have the current path, import systems and just try to manage the consequences later, or we have the required path, lead with governance first and shape the outcomes from the very beginning. It's a choice between being reactive and being in control.
So here's the blueprint. These are the 5 mandatory levers. Number 1, we have to establish local governance frameworks before a single system gets deployed, not after, before. 2, we need to develop and mandate our own standards for auditing fairness and bias. 3, we need our legislative bodies to create independent audit boards. These can't be toothless committees. They need to be legally empowered with real veto power. Number 4, we have to force leaders to answer the tough questions. Who actually benefits from this? And who is being put at risk? And finally, Number 5, and this is maybe the most important, this has to be mandatory. This cannot be a set of voluntary guidelines that people can just ignore.
Because in the end, it all comes down to this. Africa does not need louder AI. It needs braver leadership. The future of technology on this continent isn't going to be written by code. It's going to be decided by the courage of our leaders, or by their lack of it. The call to action here isn't for fancier tech. It's for braver leaders. Leaders who are willing to build our own future, not just import someone else's.